A betrayal that cut deep. Some betrayals don't come from enemies. They come from the people you would have taken a bullet for. This is the story of a wound that bled without blood. A betrayal that didn't just break a heart, it shattered a soul. My name is Blessing, and this is how my world turned upside down. The journey of trust. Blessing and Cynthia had been best friends since secondary school. They were inseparable, two halves of the same coin. From boarding school days to university nights of crying over broken relationships, they had been each other's pillars. You can't see Blessing without seeing Cynthia around her. Cynthia was more of a sister to her than a friend, if you must know. During their NYSC days, Blessing started building a relationship with one Obinna that led to marriage after 3 years of courtship. Obinna, a calm, respectful man who got employed as a civil engineer. Their home was peaceful and you will feel their love was real. Only 2 years old marriage was the kind of union that made other women dream. Trust was the foundation. Blessing trusted her husband so much that she can easily split out everything because their home was built on trust. No room to hide anything from each other. It was envy of their counterparts. One fateful evening, Blessing got an email that was invited to speak at a women's empowerment event in Abuja. She didn't think twice about leaving her husband back in Lagos. Her husband Obinna wasn't just a husband. He was her friend, her peace. On getting to Abuja, she called her beloved husband to inform him and they talked at length. Remember, she made sure she prepared food that will be enough for her husband till she comes back as a virtuous woman. It was a Friday night. Blessing had just finished her presentation and was relaxing in her hotel room when her phone buzzed. "Aiden 1 she said, smiling as she picked up. "Kadu. How are you?" "Naza, Biko." Adequ's voice was shaky. "I just missed my bus. The guy that promised to pick me up left me stranded. I'm in Ikeja, and I don't know where to go. Where are you? Can you help please?" A call from Cynthia that made her so tensed. Blessing sat up immediately. "Wait, you're in Lagos?" "Yes. I came for an audition. It was supposed to be quick, but everything went wrong." Blessing's heart softened. "You should have told me you were coming, but it's fine. I'm in Abuja right now for an event, but Obinna is at home. I'll call him now, he'll come pick you up." "Are you sure?" Adeku asked, voice hesitant. "Chai. I'm so sorry for not informing you. I never wanted to disturb you. Forgive me, dear friend." Cynthia asked. "But wait, won't your hubby feel somehow picking me up? We'll be better comfortable. I would have looked for a hotel to lodge, but I'm low on cash right now." "I trust you both," Chinaza said confidently. "Just relax, you're safe." Blessing picked up her phone and called her husband. Obinna didn't hesitate when he saw his wife's call. He picked Adeku up within the hour and brought her home. He even made her dinner, gave her Chinaza's robe, and allowed her to sleep in the guest room. He did absolutely what every reasonable man can do for his wife's friend. What happened between that night and the weeks that followed? Blessing could never have imagined that. She was meant to go back the next day but got some delays that made her to stay extra days. When she returned to Lagos, everything was normal, on the surface. Cynthia had gone back to her place 2 days later. Obinna welcomed his wife like his usual way, made her comfortable. But as a woman she suspected that something was off. But kept it cool. Few days after her return, she noticed Obinna checking his phone more often. Whispered calls. He was always stepping out. One night, she saw a notification flash on his phone screen. "Can't stop thinking about you. Last night was fire. You literally took me out of this planet Earth. You're man enough. I can't wait to experience that feelings again." And it was from Cynthia. Blessing couldn't believe her eyes. Her heart literally stopped beating for some moments. She waited. She watched. She cried. Silently. And then one evening, when Obinna was in the shower, she took his phone and unlocked it. The chats were there, raw, filthy, undeniable. Pictures, voice notes, even plans to meet at that hotel in Lekki again. Her knees buckled. Her world spun. Cynthia, her sister, Obinna. Her husband. Together. How do I handy this? The betrayal was not just sexual. It was spiritual. They had laughed in her presence. Shared her food. Slept under her roof. Oh. My matrimonial bed has been defiled, she screamed and thought of doing something. But then she remembered her worth and vowed never to fight any man. She maintained calmness and decided to watch Obinna closely. When Obinna came out of the bathroom, towel around his waist, he saw her sitting calmly on the bed. "You're home early," he said, smiling. Blessing held up the phone, looked at him and left their room to go chill off somewhere. His smile faded. The silence in the room became suffocating. Obinna stuttered. "It was a mistake, it just happened once, I can explain." Blessing didn't wait for him to finish before leaving the room. At this point Obinna was still looking at his phone and noticed that he has messed up big time. He wanted to go after her and maybe cut everything off with Cynthia. But the thought of few days' bed activities Cynthia left is still fresh in his and needed more of it. So he allowed Blessing to deal with whatsoever she found out. Blessing didn't look back. Obinna called Cynthia to inform her of the latest. Cynthia felt bad and her conscience was filled with guilt. She cried and went to beg Blessing for betrayal, but Blessing never altered a word. Obinna, on the other hand, wanted to feel more of Cynthia's performance, and that was all. Obinna tried calling Blessing so they could talk over the issue and maybe forgetting ahead. Remember, the marriage is just 2 years. Who knows what will happen if Blessing finally gave birth, and maybe sexual urge will reduce. It means Obinna won't even look at her direction again. She decided to pack her things, her dignity, and what was left of her spirit. Cynthia avoided Obinna for weeks just to clear her conscience. Obinna was left alone for days, and at this point Blessing has moved on with her life, though not easy, but she was trying to cope. Informed her people that she is done with the marriage, but her mother wanted to talk her into accepting him back, that men cannot be trusted. Her father, who understands everything, told her to walk away and prepare her papers to leave the country. You have a brighter future than being tied down with one man who can't control his third leg. Days turned to weeks, months, and all that Obinna and Cynthia started communicating gradually, and Obinna told Cynthia to move in with him. His house is lonely and he needs someone around to help him in his home. It's been 3 years. Blessing is about getting married to someone else in a better condition. Cynthia and Obinna are still friends, not knowing what next. Chinaza now runs a counseling group for women betrayed by those closest to them. She speaks at conferences, not just about empowerment, but about discernment. And also engage people to look inwardly before accepting any man to do forever with. Don't avoid signs. You can't change a man, a place where love can't take you, your dignity can take you there. Be mindful. She learned that not everyone who laughs with you is loyal. Sometimes, the knife that cuts deepest is held by the hand you held closest. And some betrayals. They don't just hurt. They haunt. Absolutely. Here's the continuation of a betrayal that cut deep, starting from where Chinaza starts her journey of healing and rebuilding, the road to healing. Chinaza rented a small apartment in Soyulia. It wasn't as luxurious as the home she once shared with Obinna, but it had something she hadn't felt in months: peace. Every night, she journaled. Not for revenge, not for pity, but for clarity. One entry read, "They didn't just betray me. They betrayed everything I believed was real. But maybe, the breaking was necessary. Maybe this is how I become whole." She cut off all contact with Cynthia and Obinna. Blocked them everywhere. Forgiveness was a future possibility. But reconciliation? Never. Obinna tried reaching her and maybe figuring things out, but she was nowhere to be found. She has moved on. He tried sending messages through family members, but no. Blessing has dusted her slippers and moved on. Her father gladly welcomed Obinna one evening and offered him some drinks, whispered to his ear, "Now later being your king's men to take the bride price you paid, my daughter is no longer in the marriage." It's now clear to him that his 2 years' marriage has been messed up by his infidelity nature. Blessing, going through her healing process, has achieved a lot within few years and has found love again. Yes, she gave love a chance. 3 years later she started an outreach program called Sisters of Silence, a safe space for women who had been betrayed by partners, family, or friends. It started with just 5 women in a living room. Today, it's a foundation with over 200 active members and growing. Blessing speaks at seminars, writes articles, and appears on talk shows. People ask her, "How did you survive?" Her answer remains the same. "I died. And then I gave birth to a stronger version of myself." The unexpected message. One rainy evening, as she was locking up her office, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Adaku. "I'm pregnant. It's Obina's. He left me. I have no one else. Please forgive me." Blessing stared at the message for a long time. She didn't reply. She deleted it. Not in hate, but in peace. Chinaza stood in front of a crowd at a women's conference in Port Harcourt. Her topic was finding yourself after betrayal. A betrayal that cut deep. Taught her how to rebuild deeper. Not all stories have a perfect ending, but some have powerful